What can cause us to do things we don't want to do? Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas, and welcome to my channel. I do mostly educational videos and teach some courses, write some books, and mostly on what you would call esoteric or occult topics. Not that they're occult in terms of, sometimes people classify that as, satanic, but occult just means hidden. So these are hidden topics, topics that are not part of your normal curriculum. A lot of the stuff that I work on, people who have spent their whole lives dedicated to uncovering a topic or to covering a topic, and they died, penniless and unrecognized, but they left behind great resources of, all the work, all the heart and soul that they put into it. And, in many cases, they didn't quite finish the work, or it's difficult to understand because they had to invent a bunch of new words to describe what they were talking about. So it's a difficult, work to resurrect. But in many cases, at least I found that it's very much worth it. Now, certainly some of those people who've done those things, they actually were crackpots, but some of them weren't. Some of them were really serious scientists, researchers, or whatever, and left behind great treasures. So that's kind of what I like to do, is to try to uncover some of that. And comes with the territory that it's not always pristine. You have to read between the lines, and you have to try to work to correct some mistakes that are made, or see the limitations in their thinking or whatever. But these people, and I find at least the ones that I've worked on, were very sincere about what they were doing, and maybe just didn't get it all the way. It's very difficult to do things like from scratch. We take our culture very much for granted, that there were thousands or millions of people who came before us, who put all this stuff down brick by brick. But when you go off on your own, you have to build all that yourself, and that's a very, very tall order. So anyway, that's what I do a lot on my channel. One of the things I work on is this tree of life. You may have seen it as the Hebrew Kabbalah, or the Egyptian tree of life. My version is a little bit different. Like, a lot of times, if you look at the tree of life stuff, most of the time it's emanations from the top. So it's more of a top-down approach. My approach is more of a bottom-up approach. They're both completely valid, and they both describe different parts of it. And the ideal would be to have a balance. The universe emanates from the top, and then we evolve, or we spiritualize from the bottom. And so most of my work is involved in, figuring out our evolution, our spiritual evolution, up back toward the creator. But I do also try to incorporate parts of the emanations from the creator down to us. So that's that might be a little bit clarifying. Now, the tree has 10 different circles or spheres that are numbered 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's a thing here called the abyss. And then above the tree, there's a 0. So it's a total of 12 different categories. Most of the time, we classify these as 12 different faculties of consciousness. and you can use that to break down anything. So the 12 different faculties of consciousness are generally animal consciousness. This is our survival instincts. Also like the body, the earth. And then the ninth sphere has to do with our domestic consciousness, what we're getting growing up in the home, copying, imitating, by being highly receptive to our caregivers. The eighth sphere is about kind of the same thing, but in the public sphere, where the experts and the guys in the lab coats and in the suits and ties and the politicians, they tell us what we're supposed to believe, and then we believe them, and we rationalize that our behavior based on that. The seventh sphere is kind of for people who maybe dissent from the eighth sphere, and they see that there's maybe a better way to do it, maybe a better belief, and they try to improve upon what's in the eighth sphere generally through artistic endeavors and also inventions. And so the seventh sphere is our creative spark, also our inspiration. So we are inspired by spiritual people acting up here, and we aspire to that. But the inspiration is just the 1%, and then our aspiration or climbing is the 99% of the hard work that is involved in moving up the tree spiritually. The sixth sphere is our free will faculty. This is where we're located. You are here, but our free will is about paying attention and making decisions. And a lot of times our free will, our paying attention, we're paying attention to our conditionings that are down here. So we're paying attention to our lower selves instead of turning around and paying attention to our higher self that's further up the tree. Number 5 is our sense of justice, karma. This is our, right from wrong. As you sow, so shall you reap. And we get feedback when we act here. We get feedback instantly from our karma. It tells us, is that the right or wrong action, or somewhere in between. And then this is the enforcement of the natural law, whereas this is the articulation of the natural law. So this is the cosmology. This helps us. This is a book or some other media that purports to describe everything in the universe and how it all fits together. A lot of the ancient books are like this, but there are many other sources or more modern sources that are also what you call cosmologies. You could say a theory of everything or grand unified theory. These are cosmologies, and sometimes people even put together cosmologies that are, you may not associate it with them, but if they really do come up with a theory that attempts to describe everything, then that would be a cosmology. Also, here is universal language and universal love, giving, seeking nothing in return, and loving our enemies. Then here, the abyss. This is our psychic powers. This is our ability to tune into, recognize, and act upon omens, coincidences, synchronicities. The third sphere is part of the divine triangle. These are our divine aspects. Omnipotence, all powerful, omniscience, all knowing or wisdom, and then omnipresence, all present, all the time, everywhere, eternally. We tap into this through sound synchronization, especially mantra. We tap into this through silencing the mind. And if we can't do that, then we use like a surrogate here from the sixth sphere. And the surrogate would be what you would call an oracle or a divination system. So this is a way that we are able to use chance processes to replace the fact that we're unable to quiet our minds to the point that we need to tap into wisdom. And then the first sphere is our deepest center, where at our deepest center we connect with everybody else's deepest center. So this is a a communication system, but it's also an ether. It's something that underlies everything. And then the zero above the tree, I would think of as, if this is the first ether, this is really the 0th ether. And this is the part of the universe that the creator reserves for itself. So it's something that the creator is got a life of its own, and this is the part of its own life that is not part of this universe. Now, what I've done with this model is I've used it to break it down to another level of categorization. So I've taken the whole tree and shrunk it down and applied it 12 different times to each one of these spheres. So you got 12 categories here, 12 categories here, and so on, for a total of 144 different, what I call fractal faculties. And those faculties are not chronological, but they're dramatic. So 144 dramatic stages of life. And if you'd like to get a free copy of a list of those 144 fractal faculties, just click the link in the description and I'll send you out a free copy. It'll help you to keep score at home as I go through this in this video series, as I go through all 144 of the stages at random. Today's stage is number 10. Out of all 144, we're doing number 10. The question was, what can cause us to do things we do not want to do? And this one here is in the 10th sphere. So it's the 10th sphere, and it's the second fractal of the 10th sphere. So right here, the second fractal of the 10th sphere. Now, as we said, the 10th sphere is about our animal consciousness. This is our survival. This is our instinct. These are where our deep set emotions are. And then the second is our wisdom faculty. And then this is also, through wisdom, we're able to anticipate the future. So it has something to do with anticipating or predicting. Those are the two components that are involved in number 10, which I call impulsive instinctive reaction, or also known as just like a knee-jerk, or also known as 10 to the second monkey, and scratch the itch. Stage number 10 is about how a disproportionate fraction of our lives is occupied by impulsive behavior. The impulse is to jump on the bandwagon well after the tipping point, like an NPC, stronger and stronger as time goes on. The impulse mechanism causes us all to sacrifice our health and well-being every single day. We impulse and then indulge before we've even had time to figure out or wake up to what was happening, even when we've made a vow to quit. Scratch the itch, take the bait, but wait. Don't react like a knee-jerk. Under the impulse, we acted before we recognized all the choices we had. Without a whole lot of self-training, we are all powerless to stop ourselves from being triggered. Just like a knee-jerk, pulling the trigger of our gun. Without regard for our fictions, the powers that be handling us like gription. They will make us flinch, make us twitch, make us budge, more than a nudge. A little fake takes us off our feet, out of balance, out of position. Now we're easy to beat. They'll drop a key phrase, click on a light, snap their fingers, make us fly off the handle, throw a hissy fit, or have a conniption, make us look just like a knee-jerk chicken little shit. Impulsive, instinctive reaction. The impulse comes in tune with the zeitgeist of expanded consciousness, like the 100th monkey, the tipping point. The bait, the trigger, is the zeitgeist broadcasting the latest thing that is already past the tipping point. We can try to resist the itches until they go away to die, or be pulled by the strings of the puppet master who controls us thereby. Okay, that is number 10, Scratch the Itch, or otherwise known as Just Like a Knee Jerk, or Impulsive Instinctive Reaction, 10 to the second monkey. Those are all things that are incorporated in the second fractal of the 10th sphere. Now, if you'd like a copy of that list of 144 fractal faculties, just click the link below. I'll send that out to you. Also, you can press the like button, and you can share and subscribe. Stay tuned for future videos from me on this channel, and have a beautiful day.